Hey everyone, let's quickly wrap up October. You may have noticed that I skipped the September wrap up. That was basically because I didn't manage. We're not going to repeat that or include the books here because I talked about all the books in my weekly check-in blogs, which I'm still doing and keeping on top of, and I'm very grateful that you're watching and commenting and participating in this strange experiment that 2025 has become. I also uploaded a goals check-in for Q3 and the last outlook for the year in October, so if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave the links in the description box. Now let's get into the books, and we'll start with a physical book. I finally picked up the Discworld book again. I have a few more left. Snuff is the 39th book in the overall series, and it's another watch book. So Commander Vimes goes on vacation, and of course he can't just go on vacation. He has to stumble across a murder and slavery, but he has a problem. He's facing the issue that there's no law against the murder and slavery because it's goblins. The murder victim and also the slavery victims are goblins, and goblins are not considered people yet. So Commander Vimes is discussing with himself and the policeman in the area where he's vacationing the conundrum that a policeman has to know what is right and has to protect the people, even though the law is not there yet. And it's a lot of talk about people, what makes the people, the rights they have, and what policemen are supposed to do. It's walking a thin line, and it's Commander Vimes being distressed about a lot of things. It's a fun adventure. I wouldn't start here. You need too much backstory on Commander Vimes, the Discworld, and the watch and everything. I also thought, rereading this, that it felt a little bit too repetitive. The same things and ideas were repeated over and over again. So I don't think I noticed that the first time I read it. Still enjoyed it. And I have a full review up for this when I read it the first time. I'll leave the link in the description. Let's move on to audiobooks. I listened to Automatic Noodle, which was a total cover buy, and it was on sale. I had never heard of it, and it was an enjoyable, quick read about a bunch of robots waking up after a shutdown and discovering that things have gone wrong in the restaurant that they were working at. Seems like their owners disappeared, and there's a legal battle about the restaurant. So they decide we still want to be useful and do things, and take over the restaurant, and they want to make noodles to make people happy. The book is a lot about community and working together and finding family. The world is a futuristic world where there has been a war between California and the rest of America, and the Californians allow robots to have some form of autonomy. It's very interestingly done, and it opens up ideas for robots' rights and people's rights and the interaction or mixing of both communities. Really enjoyed it. Let's continue with robots. I re-listened to the Monk and Robot series. It's also a science fiction story, sort of, two short novella books, which are really easy to read and listen to. They're following mostly a tea monk. Well, in the beginning, Sibling Dex wasn't a tea monk. They were just a monk, but really unhappy with what they were doing. So they thought, I'll start a new profession and become a tea monk. And they become really, really good at it. And then they feel empty and lost again. So they wander out into the wilderness, and there they meet a robot. Robots in this world have left human society because they wanted to have autonomy and not just work the factories anymore, but now they're wondering how the humans are doing and want to find out what they need because they kind of want to be useful maybe again. So they send a robot out, and those two meet and start walking or traveling the area together. It's all about being enough, finding purpose. What are you looking for? What do you need to give to community? How can community work? And what is it that you actually need? I really enjoyed it. It really helped me because I was, at the moment when I was listening to it, I was a little bit lost myself and overwhelmed. So it helped me calm down. So turns out I'm really enjoying the series because I've been listening to it over and over again, especially when I'm stressed. The last audiobook I listened to was The Potency of Ungovernable Impulses. I can never remember that title properly. Anyways, it's part of a series, the third book, following a detective and a scholar fixing or finding out mysteries and solving them. It's a lot about their relationship as well, and it's about the world they live in. This is also science fiction. The world is mostly a giant planet with different... I don't fully understand the world. I have to admit it. I cannot picture it in my mind, but it's spread out and there are moons and satellites, but also they live on this world. I think they call it giant, and they have a big problem with the air. So they constantly filter out stuff out of the air when they leave the houses. So that is part of the mystery here, because a young woman developed or invented something new, a better air filter, and has troubles with that. It's a bad summary of the book. I don't know why I can't summarize these books better, but I really enjoy the series for the two main characters. They have known each other from university, they studied together, they have been in a relationship there, and in the first book in the series they meet again and they have sort of communication issues, but also relationship issues, and they're both utterly independent but also want to be together. I really enjoyed that. So I highly recommend it, even though I don't understand the world and I don't think the mysteries are super well done, great mysteries. They're very enjoyable. I really enjoy the books. 2 more books to go. I listened to the next book in the Singing Hills cycle, A Mouthful of Dust, which is dealing with famine and hunger and the stories we tell us about ourselves in these situations and the secrets we try to keep from ourselves and others. I'm just noticing that I have trouble today remembering the names and descriptions of the Singing Hills cycle. The Singing Hills is an archive where historical events are archived. So the people working there travel the country and they collect the stories and see the truth and just remember what happened. So to keep the histories. And they always say that truth will survive and come out. And I really enjoy the series. I enjoy the writing style. It's an imaginary world. It doesn't exist, but the stories that happen there always deal with some form of storytelling and memorizing history and repeating what happened and how stories and memories can be manipulated. I really enjoyed this. For this book, however, I need to give you a trigger warning of famine and eating people and how you really survive when you don't have anything to eat. It could be traumatizing, so check trigger warnings. And the last ebook I read was Discontent. I really enjoyed this book. It's a very strange mix of enjoying and relating to the main character while you really don't like them. In the beginning, I really related and thought really well done. The portrayal of a character, a person working a job that they are not 100% in love with. They just found themselves in there and found that they're good at it. But the person is also unlikable in the way that they're good at the job because they know how to play the office game and use other people. The more the book continues, I felt that I related to the office feeling of being in a job that's sometimes in the way that doesn't really give you anything, but you have to pretend and mask going. But on the other side, the person became more and more dislikable and hypocritical in her actions. What I didn't like though was the ending. It was well done. It was an interesting twist it took, or turn of direction where the story went, but I don't like it. I would have preferred a different ending. But you have to read the book, or if you have read the book, let me know what you think about the ending. And that's it. That's all I read in October. Let me know how you're doing. Did you read good books in October? Have you read any of the books that I talked about? Let's talk books. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.